right, out there. This is a warning to all politicians. I'm running for president in 2024. Part 55, I believe. This is mostly going to be a message for the young people out there, no matter what color you are, where you come from. So you see all this violence. You see it leads to nowhere. You want to get out of it. What do you do? Now, I don't know if where you live, if there's outreach programs and stuff like that through your churches or your mosques, or any other kind of state or local agency that can help you. Maybe try talking to some of those officers and see what you can do to get away from it all. But I can tell you, the number one thing to start is, you know what types of things you've done wrong. You can ask your Maker for forgiveness, and you can pick whatever religion you want. I don't believe you need a priest or a preacher or a cleric or anybody. But if that would make you feel better, going to a person of faith and taking those steps to find faith with them, that's all right too. But God isn't deaf, so He can hear you no matter where you are, or whether you're by yourself or with somebody. And any faith will do. And you ask for your forgiveness, and you ask Him to help you change your life. And I've said this before, it's from an Islamic teaching that, He's more than willing, He's ready, willing, and able to help you in the things you want to do. But He has to see something from you. He has to see steps. Well, He doesn't. He's God. He can do it any way He wants to, but because there's also a saying, never say God's hands are tied, and I believe that wholeheartedly. His hands are never tied, that He can't do or must do whatever. He's God. He can do what He wants, or how He wants to do it. But the saying is, He wants to see, you make a move. It's like if you're sitting around and you're praying all the time that you're tired of being a poor, but then instead of going and getting a job, you sit on your butt, smoke a blunt, and play video games all day. See what I'm saying? You gotta make the change. He wants a little effort. So you do that, and you have to separate yourself, even if they're family. Somehow, some way, you have got to separate yourself from all the bad influences, from the drugs, the alcohol, gang activity, whatever it is. Somehow, some way, you've got to get away from it. When I needed to make a change in my life, when I saw that I was running full speed down a dead-end street with no brakes, so to speak, I realized it was a road to nowhere. And I had to make some changes in my life. I made those changes. I moved away from my friends, moved back home for a little bit with my mom, quit drinking, quit all the other stuff, and then even changed jobs because some of the people I was friends with, a lot of us worked at the same place, so I had to even get away from that. And I had to deal with the ridicule and stuff from a lot of people around me. Some family, some friends, some just people who knew me. And why is he bugging out? Why is he tripping? Oh, we ain't good enough to hang around anymore? Oh, he wants to see God. All types of stuff. What's the matter with him, man? There were some other things too. You know, the anger of some people that I decided to make a change in my life, you know, and some of them were good friends, you know, almost became violent confrontations. So you gotta make an effort. And you gotta seek the help of your Maker. Now, if you watched any of these videos before, you know I am learning, and I apologize to the Baha'i Faith if any things I've said are done. They are not reflections of the Baha'i Faith. I do not speak for the Baha'i Faith, but I know what they teach is true, and that's what I'm telling you. Everyone's walk in faith and search for truth is their own. This is part of mine. So, but no matter what religious route you go, you have to be aware. Don't let them make you hateful or judgmental about people of other faiths. Because if you look at the Baha'i teaching, you'll see that all faiths have come from one God, the one truth. Just like rays from the sun, they all land in different places. When you see those rays from the sun coming down through the clouds, that light all comes from one light and has landed upon people around this earth of every race and nationality. So that's my religious belief. I'm going to try and perfect my faith and clean up my act where I need to and learn more. So that's what you need to do if you're a young person out there. No matter what you're involved in, there are avenues of help, namely your Maker, and then you have to turn to whether it's a faith-based charity outreach type thing to give you some help and support to get away from the bad stuff, or whether it's a state or local agency that can point you in the right direction. But this country can't go on like this with these young people. Who get so far into this stuff to where they become career criminals, and then society has no choice but to either lock them up or put them to death if they've committed murders. You have no choice. You can't risk the lives of the innocent for somebody who won't repent and wants to live that kind of lifestyle, or who has taken a life. Even if they say they repented, even if you can't take that chance. So you got to get them while they're young, before they've done committed acts that are just too atrocious to let them back on the street, or to try and turn their lives around. So if programs like that need funding, like, I'm a firm believer it's far better to go through people who care, like a charity and stuff, than some bureaucracy, and you don't get any help because they haven't gone through the paperwork yet. So I think if I should make it to office, we're going to look at a lot of, what tax deductions are allowed for charity, and see if we can increase the deduction and things like that. And try and do something about the education system. Rebuild schools, like I say, rebuild whole neighborhoods. There'll be certain requirements there, but rebuild whole neighborhoods and give people a vested interest in their future, instead of giving them welfare and food stamps and shoving them over in a corner somewhere in some public housing to be ravaged by gangs and stuff. Because that's the answer. That's the Democratic answer. That these people who keep telling you they're going to help you. That's what their answer's been. Welfare and food stamps, shove you over in a corner, give you some public housing in a crime-infested neighborhood. So anyway, that'll be part of my agenda. Should make it that far. Is trying to change the mindset and give youth some direction in the country. And looking at them shootings in Chicago, the 3-year-old boy, and I believe they said she was 7-year-old girl killed. When all you rap stars who propagated and still do the violence in your music, the drug use in your music, the abuse of women in your music. Why don't y'all look at that video about the killings in Chicago and take a look at the picture of that little boy. Take a look at the picture of the little boy. Maybe that's what we should do. They got programs where where they take kids to the morgues to see the bodies of people killed from drunk driving and stuff, and the wrecks. And we take you rap artists living in your gated communities with your, Lamborghinis and all that, and we're going to take you to the funerals of these children. We're going to take you to the funerals of these children who are killed because of the way your music has influenced other children. Maybe then you wake up. Maybe then you wake up. You should all be proud of yourselves. Music to kill by. That's the way you should advertise it. Music to kill by. 'Cause that's what it is. What really surprises me about that whole deal is Ozzy Osbourne, Judas Priest, whatever. They had some songs which didn't say anything about killing people or killing yourself or whatever. But apparently there were some kids who listened to some of their certain songs and stuff and decided to take their lives, and it was mostly from the religious right. The firestorm of controversy over hard rock or heavy metal, and court cases and stuff. But rap music, a lot of it, out and out right, talks about taking people's lives and doing drugs and all this other stuff. Don't see them getting dragged into court, questioned about their music and its influence on children. Maybe somebody ought to look into that. That'll be something I look into if I get elected. We're going to see what the true feelings of these artists are, if you want to call them that, about all the deaths. And a lot of them say, it was just to reflect what was going on in the neighborhood. It wasn't to encourage it. And why didn't you make music to discourage it? Instead, you all had to prove you had to get your name out there and get some street cred. Else nobody bought your album, so you had to be hard. Had to fly the colors of the gangs and all this and everything. Why didn't you make music to discourage it? Why didn't you get into some R&B or blues or something? Sing about other things. All right. Well, leave it at that. And I'll see you on the next one. Be safe out there. God bless.